Divya, and I'm a rising junior at American High School. So my starter project was an RGB nightlight, which I chose because I thought it would be a good introduction to Arduino, and it just seemed really interesting to build. And this is my main project, which is a video game emulator using Raspberry Pi. I chose this because I really enjoy computer science, and I kind of wanted a project which mixed both software and hardware, because I wanted to get best of both sides. So basically this is like a retro gaming system that emulates different games on this monitor, and you can use this controller to control them. So I'm going to demo one of my games now on this emulator called Game Boy. So we can play Super Mario. And I'm really bad at these games, so don't judge me. Okay, so you can just play like that, and I just died. So how it works is basically inside this controller is a small Raspberry Pi, which is basically a tiny computer. And RetroPie is a software that builds upon Raspberry Pi, and it basically transformed the Raspberry Pi into a retro game emulator. And so first I had to download RetroPie onto the Raspberry Pi, and after that I connected Raspberry Pi to this monitor, which it displayed on, and then I downloaded a bunch of retro arcade games, or ROMs, and I transferred them from my computer to RetroPie, and then I built this controller which can control and play the games. So I think the most challenging part of this project was building this controller, definitely, because it required a lot of hardware which I didn't know much about, and I drilled and dremeled for the first time, and that was really tough. As you can see here, the dremeling is a little bit messy. But, and also inside this are a bunch of wires, and I had to wire each of these buttons and the joystick and make it like connect, and I did most of that today, and it was, Lord knows, it was a really nerve-wracking experience. But it worked in the end, and I'm really happy that it worked. And I learned exactly what a Raspberry Pi is and how emulation software works, which I didn't really understand much before. And I also learned really useful hardware skills such as drilling and dremeling and making important hardware connections. So probably the next modification I would do on this project is maybe build a case for this entire monitor and make this look and feel like a real arcade game. And I would probably program my own game using Python and PyGames, which I started working on but didn't have enough time to complete, so I'd probably do that in the future. And I think BlueStamp has really helped fuel my passion for engineering, and I feel like I know a lot more about engineering than I did when I first came in here, and it's been a really enjoyable experience, and I think I might even go home and try to work on a few video games by myself in my free time. Yeah, thank you. Are there any questions?
So you said you don't like playing games. How did you select this project?
I mean, I didn't say I don't like playing games, I'm just really bad at them.
Yeah.
I love playing them. But yeah.
So the joystick on your controller box, where does that connect to on the Raspberry Pi? Where does it go?
So none of this actually wires directly to the Raspberry Pi.
Okay.
It's on this other board, which has a bunch of wire sockets inside of it, so you can put the wires inside. So that's what all of these are connected to. So once you wire them to that, you can connect that using a cable to the Raspberry Pi. So that's how everything's connected inside.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
How long did this take you to make?
It took, so I was only doing the 2-week program, so it took like 1 week. Yeah, 1 week.